Jane Austen's writing remains as sharp, vibrant, and relevant as ever, even though her novels are now more than 2 centuries old. Seth Doane tells us about an author for the ages.
It might look like a scene from yet another Jane Austen production, and there have been a few.
My mother is determined to see me distinguished.
As?
Anything.
I hope you're not the only man to have noticed.
You have said quite enough, madam. I perfectly comprehend your feelings.
But this was no set. It was a celebration of the author 250 years after her birth. The English town of Bath was channeling the early 1800s when Austen's novels were published. Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, and Emma were among those Anne Pern grew up reading.
The issues that she speaks of, the economy, class, family, sisters, still so resonate with us today.
15,000 tickets were sold for this year's 10-day Jane Austen Festival, a level of enthusiasm that surprised even its organizer, Georgia Delve.
2 of her novels are based here, so you can walk in her footsteps down the streets. You've got character names on streets, you've got places she visited, so it's just the feeling of being in that world that she inhabited that makes it so special.
She has written books that are endlessly rereadable.
Rereadable?
Rereadable.
It's not enough to read it once?
Well, I don't think so. There's something new to find every time.
Devoney Looser's ties to the author are not just professional.
My husband is also a Jane Austen scholar. We met and had a fight over Jane Austen the day we met.
What a love story.
Yeah, that's what he'd say too.
In her book, Wild for Austen, she argues the author is hardly plain, prim, and proper.
It's there in her writings, this idea of women being positively wild, unconventional, more free, more artless, and willing to combine feeling and thoughtfulness with intellectual ability. That this is the kind of thing she set out to celebrate in her heroines at a time where women were supposed to be ideally passive and not very thinking.
Austen died at 41 after suffering a range of ailments. She wrote just 6 novels, 2 published after her death.
You can read her on the level of the word, the sentence, chapter, plot, character, and appreciate what she's done in terms of craft. And on top of that, they're funny, and they're incredible works of social criticism.
We met Looser at the University of Southampton in England.
And what are you presenting on?
Where this past summer, scholars and enthusiasts met to discuss all things Austen.
Reflecting on why Austen's work has such enduring legacy.
In the university's collection, among 7 million manuscripts and printed books.
This is Emma. Yes.
Printed in 1816.
1816.
Head of Archives and Special Collections, Karen Robson, gave us a sampling from this first edition.
Emma Woodhouse, handsome, clever and rich, with a comfortable home and happy disposition, seemed to unite some of the best blessings of existence and lived nearly 21 years in the world with very little to distress or vex her.
Lucky Emma.
Indeed.
You get so much in just this first sentence.
Absolutely. She's a wonderful wordsmith.
She published as the first one, Sense and Sensibility, in 1811 as by a lady, and then after that as by the author of Sense and Sensibility.
But she didn't put her name on the books.
She didn't.
Why?
It's because novels in this period were not seen as high art. They were still seen as a kind of trashier genre.
So you didn't want to be associated with it?
She died before we know if she ever would have decided to put her name on something.
Looser likens Austen to Shakespeare, with the kind of staying power that takes form in those many adaptations.
Then you approve of it?
Very much. I think there are few who would not approve.
But your good opinion is rarely bestowed and therefore more worth the earning.
These are not trivial recommendations, Mr. Knightley. Till men do fall in love with well-informed minds instead of handsome faces, a girl with such loveliness as Harriet has a certainty of being admired and sought after wherever she goes.
And there is the Austen-inspired, like 1995's Clueless, based on Emma.
You don't want to start off on the wrong foot now, do you? I've got an idea. Let's do a makeover.
No.
How are your spectacles?
Very well.
we were on the set of another spin-off of Pride and Prejudice, the Other Bennet Sister.
Perhaps I may be permitted to help you find what you're looking for.
I was looking for my sisters.
I think she feels like a very modern heroine. It's not a classic boy meets girl kind of story.
Jane Tranter is the executive producer of this BritBox series, which puts the often overlooked middle sister Mary Bennet at the center.
Why do we see so many adaptations of Jane Austen's work?
Jane Austen is the absolute master of a love story, of a kind of slow, simmering, everything very proper, but kind of like boiling away beneath the lines of society. And we love that. And I think we love the period detail.
That was clear in Bath, where the past is very much alive and celebrated thanks to this author on her 250th birthday.
Why does her writing endure?
Because it's brilliant, right? I mean, I think that's the glib, easy answer, because it's brilliant.